Hey, it's Eran here. Thank you so much for being here for this particular training video. This is going to be very interesting, I hope. Okay, I'm going to be sharing with you my story with you, pretty much from the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur, the backstory, and what happened throughout the time and where I am today. I'm recording this video in December 2018. It's been 2 years, basically. And the reason I'm doing this video is not because I want to bore you with my story, okay? That's not actually the point. This is actually a very important training session regarding a concept that really resonated with me when I first got started. And it's really the reason why you can actually succeed online no matter who you are, what you've been through, what your circumstances are, and so on. It's actually the number one reason why you can actually have success, okay? So the concept is very simple. I'm going to give you 3 variations which I've heard in different ways. Your story is the money, or your story is the money. Be a product of the product, and you are a business, i.e. you incorporated, you Inc., okay? So I've heard this variation in different ways from different people, different YouTube videos or books or courses that I paid for. And really what this means is that you have a story, okay? And you, being an individual, by sharing that story, there is going to be a certain element, a certain X factor that's going to make you unique. And that uniqueness is going to attract other people to you who are like-minded, okay? Now this can also be a dangerous one. If you're an extremely negative person, don't be surprised if you're gonna attract a bunch of negative people, okay? Like-minded people tend to band together, and that's why, mindset is very important. Being positive is very important. Being social, being friendly, If anything, I try to be friendly. I try to just be a nice person, you know what I mean? Try to be a helpful person. Being a helpful person for me is like, that's my ideal personality, being a helpful person and someone, and I want to attract people who are passionate about help, as an example. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter what your story is, if I'll give you an example. Yesterday I saw some video about a lady over in the US whose brother was a Marine who died, and she ended up writing a book about the loss. She couldn't recover from the loss. She ended up, she was depressed and sad for years and whatever. Ended up writing a book. Book was huge, and it evolved from there into basically a brand where a lot of people who've lost families, in such way. What was the name? I think it was a sister widow or something, or a sister something. There was some term for something like that, and a lot of people resonate with that. And that's a good thing, because to bring people together, to have mutual understanding of people's circumstances, it does give you strength, you know what I mean? Just like when you band together, whether it's a race or a specific circumstances, if you're a single mother, you probably feel stronger having some sort of a community with a bunch of other single mothers. You've all experienced the same pain of your husband leaving you or cheating on you or whatever. It's a good thing to have those communities. And doesn't matter what happened to you, you will find that there's other people in the world who have actually experienced that, okay? And that's why it's so powerful what we have with the internet, because all these tools we have, all these communication channels, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, blogs, websites, Facebook, LinkedIn, forums, podcasts, these are all communication tools that through the internet, we've basically been able to connect 7 billion people into one network, okay? Obviously, it's a different channel, but it's the one hub of the internet, okay? That's so powerful. It really brings the human race together in a positive way when you look at it. Of course, there's some negative that comes with it and so on, there is, abuse online and things like that. But as an overall thing, if you use the tool properly, it's an amazing tool, okay? And that also means that, you can actually be part of a forum, be part of a Facebook group with other people, okay? I know I've got one person that I know of, and they had fibroids, okay? And obviously, You know, I'm a guy, I don't understand anything about fibroids. But then I went to their Facebook group to check it out because they're a client of mine. And they had over 1,000 women in that group. That's so powerful. You know what I mean? They can empower each other, they can help each other, share tips. It's a real community. It's fantastic, okay? And that's why anybody can actually succeed. And this is the point that really resonated with me, okay? Now, the other reason is that this is so powerful is because you have no doubt, if you live on planet Earth, you've had shit happen to you. You've had bad things happen to you, and it won't be the last. You're gonna have bad things happen to you, okay? You might fall ill, a family member will die, you know, whatever, you know? There's gonna be bad things that happens, okay? People die, you know? Jobs are lost. Things that are out of your control are gonna happen. Economy. We live in a crazy planet, okay? Now, this concept is what enabled me, in part, to be very positive, despite some bad things happening in my life. Because when I look at anything bad that happens to me, and this is something that you should consider, I look at my life as a book, okay? I'm the book of Eran Bucai. Now, would you really want to watch a movie or read a book that everything is just wonderful and everything is just great and it's nice and well and nothing happens, nothing dramatic happens? You want some action, you want some losses, you want some upsets, you want some conflicts, okay? That's what makes a great book or a great movie. You always have to have something. It can't just be flat water, you know, that's just boring as hell. Nobody's gonna pay for a movie like that. No one's gonna bother reading a book like that. It's just not gonna happen. So if you have some bad things that happen to you in your life, hey, that just makes your story even better, okay? So I know it's easier said than done, but I want you to take that to heart because I've had some bad shit happen to me as well, okay? It's not like everything has been wonderful, but I look at it like, you know what? This just makes it like such a good story, okay? And I'm gonna get to that story now, and I'll share it with you and show you how to take the bad things and also create a story out of it, and then you get to know me a little bit as well at the same time, okay? Stick around until the end. I'm going to be sharing with you the 10 things that I learned in this time period as well, and how that applies to you, and how it applies to what I'm doing now with my coaching and courses and so on, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about me, okay? So hopefully my story doesn't bore you. Obviously my name is Eran Bucai, originally from Israel. That's what I was born, Tel Aviv, Israel. I was born in 1986, so at the time we're recording, I'm 32. And I actually, you know, I've got a couple of brothers, a sister, parents, had great childhood, wonderful childhood. You know, I had wonderful parents and huge extended family, massive. My mom's originally from India. My father's parents are originally from Iraq and Syria, so I've got that Middle Eastern thing happening. But my mom's side is all Indian, and Indian, they're just huge families, okay? So I've got a massive, over 100, like, cousins and uncles and aunts. I don't even know half of them, like, there's so many of them. Anyway, when I actually was turning, my parents were very good. I was pretty independent from a very young age. They really let me kind of do my own thing, you know, they really did. And they taught me a few very important values that I very much appreciate. I'd say, I don't know how many values I'll give you, but I'll give you a few. Number one value is really exchange. That's probably the number one thing that I took away from my upbringing, from my parents. You know, you always gotta exchange. You know, it doesn't matter, you can't get anything in life for free. I've never had pocket money. I never was given anything. There was no handouts as a kid. It doesn't matter. You know, funny story, one time I actually got home, there was actually no food. I don't know, maybe they didn't do shopping or whatever. I went to see my dad at the workplace and so on, where he was working, and I said, and he had his little business, right? And he was, basically what he did is, I asked him, I said, hey Dad, can I get some food? He's like, I actually don't have any money on me, so why don't you go help out? I said, go help out in the business, and then we'll get a customer in, get some money in, and we'll give you money. You can go buy some food. And I was like, okay, I just got home from school. I'm bloody hungry, okay. Anyway, so he gave me a bunch of flyers to go get some work. And that takes 2 hours to do, right? I was like, flyers? I was like, I ain't getting flyers. I'll just go get something from the street. It was just sort of like an introductory line thing to sell some books or something. So anyway, so I was like, there's no way I'm gonna go hand out flyers for 2 hours. I'm just gonna go to the street, and I just literally routed somebody physically. I said, hey, did you hear about blah blah? And they said, no. I said, oh, well, come in. I gave it to my dad. My dad spoke to the guy, sold him a book, gave me the money. I went to get some food. Okay, that's just a little example of my upbringing. There was no physical abuse. There was no harshness. There was really like no yelling. There's no nothing. It was just very much like, this is the state of the nation. You need to exchange, okay? You have responsibilities in the household, doesn't matter how old you are. And it was very much like that, okay? It was great, okay? I think it was great. Some people might think it's a bit extreme, but I didn't mind it. And it really made me somebody who wants to work, okay? So that was good. And also my parents, honestly, they weren't around a lot, to be honest. They kind of let me be, and they were always working, okay? So I've observed them being extremely hard workers. Okay, my mom was up every day early in the morning, and you know, it was just whatever. Next thing is they really pushed very hard about me learning, okay, me being educated. So I actually left school. I actually didn't go to high school, and when I finished year 9, I didn't bother sticking around for getting my certificate, and it was actually legal to leave school at that point. In Israel, I was saying I was 14 at the time, and it was actually legal. And I came home and I told my parents, I said, I ain't going to school anymore. Like, that's it. I'm finished. I'm not learning anything. I freaking hate it. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I had to be there because it was actually illegal to leave school or drop out of school at that time. But come year 9, that's it. No way. I'm not going back. My dad said, look, no problem. He wasn't a big fan of school either, honestly. He said, look, no problem, I understand. Like, I'm not objecting to you coming out of school because I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it doesn't mean you stop learning. It doesn't mean you stop educating. And what he did, he actually bought me a massive children's encyclopedia at that time, and said, look, school hours are still school hours. You still got to get educated. So you tell me what you want to study. Study something that's going to help you in life, something you can apply, something you can use, and study that in school hours, okay? So what I did, I studied chess, okay? It gets you thinking strategically, love chess. And then I studied those encyclopedias and a few other things. I studied some history as well and things that I was interested in. And that's what I did. I did that for a few months, actually. Just at home, just wake up in the morning, study my encyclopedia on my own, and just study, get education on something, okay? And so on. I had a bit of a difficulty at one point, a little bit with some things, so they got a tutor to help me, and so on as well. So I had, like, you know, maybe 2 hours a week, a bit of tutoring in terms of just clearing words and increasing my vocabulary and stuff like that, and you know, things that I struggled to do on my own, basically. But other than that, so I did that for a few months. So that was another thing, learning, being really like constantly educating, okay? And the last thing, it was very much like honesty and transparency and helping people, okay? Like really being transparent with people, no BSing, and really that, you know, you have it pretty good for yourself. Your responsibility is to help other people, okay? Because if you've got a good, the only thing you could do with that is actually pass it on, okay? And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people. So that gives you a bit of an overview about me, my upbringing, and I guess what formed me to what I am today in some regards in terms of upbringing, okay? When I was turning 16, so in Israel, you actually go to the military, and that's 3 years. Now, I already hated school. I didn't want to go to the military for 3 years. I didn't want to go to university for 4 years. I just was looking at the time, and I was like, there's no way I'm doing any of it. I just have no interest. I don't want to waste my time. I was very impatient. I was like, there's no way, okay? So I ended up, I actually told my parents, I don't want to do all these things. And really the only solution was to actually leave the country. So I spoke to my parents about that, and then I proposed, and I actually left Israel on my own when I was 16, basically, and I moved to Australia. Yeah, so a bit of an unusual story, really. But I did that. My parents, obviously, they knew me. I was very independent already. I ended up, the way we structured it, you know, they had a friend that lived in Australia and so on, and, you know, there was a bit of a connection, and that's how I ended up here. And I ended up, doing some volunteer work really, and it was just a really good structure because I had the food and accommodations paid for, and I was able to volunteer and just focus on the volunteer work, which was really along the line of helping people. So it was great for me, and there was learning time and stuff like that, and all that stuff. So anyway, fast forward 14 years later, okay, I'm turning 30 years old. And here I am, that was August 2016, almost 30, I was getting close to 30 years old. And I did volunteer work for 14 years, literally 13, 14 years or something. And that's what I did, I loved it, I enjoyed it. But there came a point where I wanted, there was time to move on basically, okay? Now, realize I've got 2 little brothers, 1 little sister. I left Israel, they were pretty young at the time already. They did come and visit me here as well, and we're here, but primarily I've been in Australia on my own, and the whole rest of the family have been in Israel, okay? We're still, and that's unusual, But anyway, the choice had to be made when I was a kid. I knew that when I was 16 or whatever, 17, I think I was 16, yeah. Anyway, I really had to make that choice. I knew that I'm gonna be separated, okay? I just knew that, but I was like, okay, be separated versus another 2 years in Israel, another 3 years in the military, uni, whatever. No, I just decided to go. And I'm very happy that I did it, okay? So anyway, come August 2016, I knew that come my birthday or the next few months, I'm going to start transitioning. Now, what happened is that in August 2016, I went to a job agency to go get a job. Now, when I went to go get a job, I had a real difficulty in getting a job. Now, understand, because I've been volunteering for so long, I didn't really have any reality or understanding about how things work in terms of getting a job, having a resume, university, high school diploma, all these things. I really didn't quite understand how all these things work because I volunteered and I paid taxes. I was like a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old just finding the world, okay? So what happened is that I really struggled with getting a job. I mean, nobody would hire me. I couldn't get a job interview. I was on, we call it the dole in Australia. It's basically like the benefit, like you get, a little bit of money to get you set up, basically. I think it was $500 every 2 weeks or something. And I thought, oh, I'll get on the dole, get a little bit of money while I'm transitioning, and I'll get a job, no problem. Couldn't get a job. It was just a joke. Unbelievably ridiculous, okay? The only job I did manage to get was a labor job, okay? And I got I did the certificate to work labor. Took like a week or whatever. And I got some card that basically allows you to work, in physical labor. I did that for 3 days and I made like $300 or $350 or whatever. And if you look at my physically, I'm not your biggest guy, okay? I'm not like super strong or anything. And I was like, I'm a workaholic, right? So when I got to the physical work, I was like doing 14-hour days, no worries, I'll stay back, do extra hours, I didn't mind it. Killed myself physically, absolutely killed myself. I don't think I even woke up for the 3rd day because it was also night shift. Anyway, just wasn't for me. Throughout this time, between August until January roughly, or March I would say, throughout this time period, here in November, I basically was, because I was trying to figure out what to do. I was trying to figure out what career, what profession, what am I doing? I only know this, what am I gonna do with it, okay? I did in the volunteer stuff, I did do fundraising, I did do some sales, I did do, eternal stuff, human resources, stuff like that, dealing with people, and so on. So I had experience. It's not like I had no experience. I did work, worked very hard, in fact. But in the real world, what do I do? Anyway, so at the time, because of the circumstances, I bought a laptop from a friend. It was a crappy laptop. I mean, it was crap. It was really bad. I mean, it was an old Apple computer laptop. Bought it for $300 from my friend. It was so slow. I had to have it plugged all the time. And, it would last, the battery would last for 2 minutes unless it's plugged. It was just ridiculous. But that's what I had. And I didn't have a phone. I had a dumb phone at the time. I didn't actually have an iPhone. And actually November 2016 was my 30th birthday. I bought myself an iPhone for my birthday using the pocket money that I made from, I actually bought an iPhone because I was like, okay, I need a phone, from the dole, right? I also didn't have a driver license as well, so I had nothing. Anyway, in this time period, what I did is I couldn't afford Wi-Fi because of my budget. I had to eat, I had to live somewhere, and so on. I was really, the volunteer place was very helpful in that regard because I had a place to stay at least, and so on, so that was great. But there was no future, okay? So what I did, I actually couldn't afford Wi-Fi, so I was with my old crappy laptop and my phone, and I spent my hours pretty much every day, morning to night, sitting in shopping centers and McDonald's using their free Wi-Fi to study about the world, study about taxes. I was studying real estate, I was studying entrepreneurial stuff, I was watching YouTube videos, I was reading books, I was just trying to figure out online, like, what am I doing? What's my career path? Like, I was doing job search, all that stuff, right? I was studying real estate, and I was doing it through watching YouTube videos, watching Grant Cardone. One of his shows, Real Estate Investing Made Simple, had an ad about starting an internet business with no money down, or starting an online business with no money down. This was November, I reckon, maybe October, November. I think it was just after my birthday. Anyway, November. So I saw the ad and I thought, that's what I need. This is exactly what I need. I need an internet business with no money down. So I went through what I later found out is a funnel. Okay, I didn't know anything. I had no idea. And so I went to the website that they directed to. I registered for a webinar. I attended the webinar. I was like, wow, this is live. This is cool. And all these people are joining in and they're typing answers and this interaction. And then he says again, and if you want to learn more, go here and click here and book your appointment, a consultation. I was like, let's talk. And then I actually got a phone call, and we set up Skype, spoke to the person on the phone. I was like, wow, it's a real person. I said, how much do you make? And I was like, holy freaking shit, this is real. There's real people. They're making money online. This is amazing. Anyway, they said, okay, great. So the fee for the program is $5,000. And I was like, okay, that's not start an internet business with no money down. But if you want to help me make money online, I'm super motivated, I'm super hungry, I'll give you 90% of my profits, whatever I make, until I pay $10,000. Just teach me, let me start. No. Anyway, we were on the phone to each other, bashing each other back and forth, no go. I came out of that phone call, I was so pissed. I was like, what's with the advertising? No money down. What a load of crap. Really pissed me off, okay? So then I went online and I thought, you know what? Can't be the only company out there. So I Googled how to make money with no money down, or how to have an online business with no money. And then I obviously got bombarded. I subscribed to lists, I read ebooks, I started getting marketed to. Oh my God, I got so much communication, it was overwhelming. Anyway, after fiddling with all that, I chose a company and I was like, look, I'm gonna go with this company, I'm gonna focus on it. I took a course with them, I paid $49, and and then I'll tell you a little story about that actually. I was sold on joining that company, but I knew that whoever I'm joining under is gonna get a commission because I understood how the world works a little bit better. So I was like, okay, I need a sponsor that's actually gonna help me. So I actually contacted two top affiliates from that company. I think it was two, maybe it was three, definitely two. I remember definitely vividly two. I reached out to them, I found the email, I subscribed to the list. I said, listen, my name is Eran, I'm in Australia, I'd love to meet, I'd love to talk, I'd love to chat, I'd love to get on the phone. Just want to let you know I'm going to pay for this and I want to get started. But I'm looking for a sponsor. No answer. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll find somebody. And there was actually a guy, his name is Paul Lynch, and he was a top affiliate, still is a top affiliate as far as I know. And he actually is a soccer person. His whole story is how he basically was a soccer player, professional soccer player or semi-professional, got injured, ended his career abruptly, and went and found an internet business, okay? Now, I resonate with that, not because I got injured, but because I freaking love soccer. And I thought, you know what? If he loves soccer, I love soccer, I can get along with him. This is the perfect example of who I chose to go with, okay? Unfortunately, what I didn't realize is that somebody was using his video but using someone else, their affiliate link, not the guy, not Paul Lynch, but someone else's. So I ended up signing on to some guy who ended up my sponsor, who was super unhelpful, super annoying, only wanted my money, and didn't help me at all, okay? And I tried to talk to him. I've never spoken to him on the phone. I've asked a number of times. We did connect on Skype. We did connect on email. I did ask questions. I got very little direction, very little help. And yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? And I wished I had a good sponsor. I wished I had somebody like me helping me when I got started. Okay, I really wished I did that, because I reckon all these 10 lessons I would have actually not had to learn it the hard way, and I learned these lessons the hard way. And that's what I'm telling you here, is also, that's what I want, because I experienced the no mentor, the no help, the marketing bullshit and all that. I experienced all that, okay? And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people to really do well without the no help, okay? Because that's what happens. So fast forward, January, I paid for the course, I got started, I did the training, and I started marketing online, okay? And learning things, and I learned, you know, pay-per-click and doing Bing ads and little things, you know, all that stuff. I still wasn't doing Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook account at that time. I didn't do anything like that, no social media. It was all basically, I wasn't comfortable at that time to actually put my face out there, okay? I actually wasn't comfortable, and so I did only advertising methods which do not involve me showing my face or my name, actually. So, which there's ways to do, but actually that's what I did. You know, believe it or not, I was actually, I didn't want to do videos. I didn't want to do any of it. Okay, so I was doing like basically like the marketing without putting my face to this. Okay. In February, the company that I paid the course for were hiring, because they actually were they had coaches, and I thought, you know, I had a coach. And he was in touch with me every day, and that was great, but I thought I could totally do his job. I could totally do his job, you know, and I could so do it. You know, I know what he did, and I was like, I could do it, I can excel at it, I can provide value, and so on. I applied for the job, for the coaching role, and this is a work from home opportunity, and so on. I applied for the job. There was basically over 100 people that applied. I think it was 160. No, it was more than that. It was 600. I don't remember. It was 400 people. Anyway, definitely more than 100. I think it was 300 or 400 people that actually were invited and applied, okay? And they were only going to hire 20. There was an interview, there was a group interview, there was an application form. I had to do a YouTube video to say who I am and all that stuff, right? That was actually the first video I've ever done, actually. That was the first video I've done, is that particular. Me selling myself to be a coach was the first video I've done. Funny, I just thought about that. Anyway, so after everything, and everybody in the company that applied were much more long term. I was relatively new still, but I was very passionate, I think. I think I really was passionate. I mean, I did listen to other people's interviews because it was a group interview, and I think if anything, I was a bit intense. Okay, I think I was a bit like, I was a bit full on. So I think I stood out. But anyway, I got an email saying, yep, we'll give you a trial, no problem. You got to coach people, get 5 sales. One condition, you have to commit to doing night shift US time zone. I'm in Australia, right? I was like, no problem. Now, how the hell is that not a problem? Where the hell? I can't do shopping centers all of a sudden. So what do? I've got 2 options. McDonald's, or I realized I actually had a storage unit for a lot of my junk, okay, because I didn't actually have a place to stay at that time, right? I mean, I wasn't homeless, but I didn't have an official place to stay. And So I had all my junk in storage. I was paying like $40 a month or something. Also coming out of that $500 anyway. You could see how cheaply I was living. And basically they had an office in that storage unit, which was basically like an office you could use, that coffee, tea, that a bathroom, a toilet, and a little fridge. So what I did is I would go there at nighttime at 10 o'clock, go to the office, what do you call it? Like a meeting room, right? Conference room. And I would set shop in that conference room, in the storage. And this was an hour and a half away from where I had my bed, okay, on the bus. So I would take the bus, 2 buses, wake up at 8 o'clock at night, take the bus, arrive at 10 o'clock, go via McDonald's to get my breakfast, okay, and set shop in the storage unit, which was called Kennards, okay. I've got photos of everything. I've got all of this on video and photos and everything. Because by that stage I learned that your story is your money. So I documented my story as I went, right? So I got a lot of this documented. Anyway, so I was coaching people from this place. Now, after about a few weeks, this was already coming to, I think, March. And I actually made my first commission, my first sale, and so on. And I had a requirement of 5 sales to get done in the first 3 months or something. I got it done in the first 21 days. But what happened on the schedule is I was arriving at 10 o'clock at night and I was leaving like 4 p.m. the next day because I wanted to hammer the phones and so on. And then the guys from the shopping, not the shopping center, the storage unit came to me and said, hey, listen, you can't live here. This is a storage unit. I said, oh, no. I don't live here. I work here. Anyway, so what I did is I was actually working between 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. and they said, you can't sleep here. It's not, this is not, we have to kick you out basically. And I said, no, I swear, I don't sleep here. You can put the camera on me. I work all night. It's just what I do. I work the US time zone. I had to explain myself. Anyway, I thought, okay, I gotta not step on their toes. So what I did is I arrived at 10 p.m. at night and I would leave at 7 a.m. in the morning because before they arrive, they'll see me on camera, but I thought it will be a little bit more covert so they can't, see me and physically tell me to stop coming or something. Anyway, what I did at 7 a.m. is I will then go across the road to a McDonald's and work in the McDonald's until 4 p.m. And what I'll do is there was a sit there and I could actually plug my computer and I would sit, and when somebody picked up the phone because it was too loud, I would literally take my phone and I would run out of McDonald's to be outside where it's quieter and actually then be on the phone. So while they're not picking up, I will be there. If I'm doing my admin, I'll be inside McDonald's, and when I'm actually on the phone, I will run out and do my phone call. And I did that literally at the beginning. That was literally my journey. It was ridiculous, okay? By April, I have actually made enough money to be able to, and I borrowed a little bit of money from a friend as well, but I made enough and I had an income also to ask my friend, that I was actually able to then go and find my own place, okay? And the other thing, let me tell you about the McDonald's. Oh, sorry, let me backtrack. Even though I did that 7 a.m. escape from the shopping center, the storage unit, after about a week, they actually locked the storage unit conference room. So I couldn't go there. So I ended up going to McDonald's across the road, and I was there from 10 p.m. at night until 4 p.m. the next day. I was there for 2 of their McDonald's shifts. At nighttime, I would ask them to please turn off the music. The guys hated me. And I ate, because of my budget, I ate $2 hamburgers and $1 frozen Coke. Okay, so every time I got a nasty look after like 5 hours of me being there, they're like, dude, what are you doing? What are you still doing here? I would say, hey, just like to order another 1 frozen Coke, because that was my budget. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling this story. It's so bad. Anyway, that was literally my life between August until April, okay? Couldn't afford Wi-Fi, working in shopping centers, working McDonald's. I mean, just insane, just crazy. When I think about this now, like, this is just crazy. Anyway, April, I was like, okay, great, time to move and so on. I actually had a couple of friends that were going overseas. They let me use their house for 2 weeks while so I was house sitting their house and then I was finding my own place to stay. And I found a place to stay in a different state. I was living in Sydney at the time with a couple of those friends. And then I found a place in Western Australia in a city that I've never heard of before. And I basically packed I actually found out that I have a very close friend of mine who her and her husband, she became my next of kin, because obviously I don't have family here in Australia. So she became my next of kin during this time period as well. It was a complete accident, but she and her husband was living 5 minutes away from that city that I've never heard of. Anyway, it was a complete accident, and it just happened to be that real estate agent in that place happened to get back to me. I applied to 20 different real estate agents to try and get some help on where to go. And that was the one person that got back to me. So I told my friend about that. She was like, hey, I live 5 minutes away. I said, awesome. Can you check it out? They checked it out. I literally packed my bags and I moved to Western Australia. And I had my own place. For the first time I had my own place. It was 2-bedroom. It was cheap. It was brand new. It was awesome. Okay? I was living the life. It was fantastic. Okay, I had my own place. It was great. From April, fast forward to August, I really started doing well. I think in June, I started cashing in much better. And then in August, I started, between June, I'd say, I started pumping on social media. Open up my Instagram account, open my Facebook account, maybe May, June roughly. But June, I really started doing it, right? I started doing vlogs, video blogs. I got a website designer to do my website, and I really started to do a lot more on personal branding, on taking my story, because I was like, I've got a story now, okay? I learned this concept of having the story here in maybe October, right? By the way, little anecdote. I bought my domain, eranbucai.com. I bought that domain before my birthday when I first learned about the story thing. Why? Because I was like, okay, I want my website to be a hub for helping people. I want to help 1 million people, okay? And if you read the About Me section on my website, I would say about 80% of that was written here in November 2016. Okay, I was already forward thinking. This is what I'm going to create. I'm going to create this freaking awesome story. So when I went through this tough period where no Wi-Fi, no budget for food really, except for McDonald's and all that stuff, I was all cheerful. I was like, hey, this is awesome. This is going to be such a cool story. One day I'm going to be able to do a video just like this and talk about it. Okay, so there you go. August 2017, I was like, okay, great. There was an event in Sydney that the company was holding. It was a training event, and I was like, I'm going to go to that event. I'm going to network. I stopped by Melbourne for a little vacation, you know, not really a vacation, but sort of, you know, and saw some friends, and then went to Sydney, and then got back. And October 2017, I had my first major breakthrough. I've made good consistent income throughout here, and I did that from primarily my coaching and also from affiliate marketing. October 2017, I had a freaking breakthrough, and I made $30,000 in 1 month. Okay, so I made an average of $1,000 a day, which was basically, that's the average. It was $30,000 in 1 month. I want you to think about that for a moment. $30,000 in 1 month. That was my October, okay? By the time it was the 26th of December, I have made $102,000 from first commission here in March, April. Actually, I had my first commission in January, but it was like tiny, like we're talking like less than $100. I made like less than $100. Here is like $1,000 or whatever. But from really the first major commission, March, April, until December, $102,000, okay? I'd say about 50-50 was coaching and affiliate marketing and online advertising and so on. So that was my success. And at that point, I was like, okay, great. Laptop lifestyle, gotta live the laptop lifestyle, use that money, go travel, do this, do that. I paid for conferences and so on, and actually here, in February March 2018, here in December, I signed up for a group coaching mentorship with Grant Cardone. February, I flew to Las Vegas for 5 days or 4 days. I was there for a 3 days entrepreneurial event with 9,000 people. Then I went to Washington, D.C. I had some old friends there, and I stayed at their place, and I was there for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in Washington, D.C. And then I went in March, I went to Mexico, and I was there, and I went for an internet marketing mastermind event. It was an exclusive event for internet marketers. About 100 people. I paid over 10 grand to attend that event. 5-star, all-inclusive food, like just living the life, right? Finished that, went back to Australia. I had a personal invite for another, even more exclusive internet marketing event, and that was in Fiji. I went there in May. Meantime, you know, I've made money, and I'm spending a lot of money, and I've loaned some money, and I've invested money back into the business, and so on, and I put money into advertising, and you know, I've had like over $50,000 invested in the business at that time. And just to give you an idea, just so you know, right? When I think it was around February or March, it was probably February or March, I paid $2,500 to additional training that I actually got, right? Now you might say, where did you get the money from? I borrowed the money from 2 very good friends of mine at 20% interest, okay? And this was 2.5 US. It's like 4,000 Australian dollars. It's a lot of money, right? Anyway, I borrowed it at 20% interest from friends. And then by the time I was making money here, I think it was by August, I was making good money by July. And I went to another friend and I said, listen, I want to invest a lot more in my business. And I actually took out a loan from him, also at 20% interest. And I borrowed, I think, $40,000, you know, and I was very confident I'm making money. I could pay it back, no problem, and so on. So I borrowed that money as well. So I invested a lot heavily to really advertising and in training and events and you name it, right? Like I was going hard. Anyway, I'm doing all this travel and I'm not paying my debts. I mean, I'm paying the debts back, but not like putting all my money, but I'm just doing the repayments, you know, just, you know, cushy, you know, coasting along, as they say. In June 2018, I woke up, the website of the company I was with was gone, everything is down, all the other coaches have no idea what's going on, and overnight, the company was actually given a non-restraining order by a governing body in the US called the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Websites were taken and the company was suspended, which basically means it's gone. Literally overnight. So here I am. I'm invested $50,000 in the business, okay, which was borrowed. I have 6-figure income. I'm thinking I've got that income coming in. All of a sudden, and I'm making that, you know, average, you know, $8,000 to $10,000 a month or whatever. Overnight, it's gone. I'm back to square zero. The hell do I do? Okay. Now, luckily for me, I look at my story and I think it's a story. I'm not fast, you know, it's fine. I just got to do something with that. So I thought to myself, okay, 2 things I'm going to do. Number one, even if the company comes back online, I can't rely on that, okay? And this is one of the lessons I learned. You know, point number 2 is never rely on one source of anything. I was like, look, even if they come back online, I obviously cannot rely on it because if that happens, then I can't be in that position again, okay? So what I did is I thought, okay, I got 2 options. I already built a lot of connections. I've been to events. I've met a lot of top internet marketers, a lot of top entrepreneurs. I got a lot of connections. I got some following on social media, nothing huge, but I know enough people. I could just keep living the laptop lifestyle. I could figure it out. It's not a problem. I was a popular coach. I could get more coaching for another company and just get back to work, no problem. It was easy. I thought, nah, I want to do it the hard way. And I'm very happy I did it, and I'll explain what I mean. Most of the students that I have worked with, okay, throughout my time with this company, and also, people like yourself, okay, 99% of them, I'd say, they have a job. I'd say 95% of them have a job, okay? They have a job, they have family, they have circumstances, they have time limitations, okay? And with that in mind, I thought to myself, I want to be in that position. I mean, I built a 6-figure income, okay? But I did it full time. And that's okay. It's not like, that's not good enough, but I thought I want to experience what it's like to have a 9-to-5 job and have to escape that rat race. Be pressed for time. I want to know what it's like, where you really have a boss over your head, you have to be there for certain hours and all that. So I decided to get a 9-to-5 job. So I contacted some friends in Sydney, and I thought maybe I'll get a job there. They happened to have an opening, and within 6 days, I was approved for that job. It was like a very junior sales position. I got the job. I packed my suitcase and I flew to Sydney, and I moved back to Sydney, literally with a suitcase. All my stuff I left in Perth in an apartment. By that stage, just in April, because my lease ran out, I was leased for 1 year, my friends in the next of kin, right? They bought a house, built a house, they've got 4 bedrooms, I've got 2 of them for myself. So I just left all my stuff there, and I just took a suitcase to Sydney. I thought, let me go and do a stint in Sydney, again, have a 9-to-5 job, and rebuild my coaching business, my training, my education, my affiliate marketing, my advertising, my marketing skills, really perfect it, and build a system I can be proud of and work on my own, and really create my own thing so I can help others, okay? And actually experience what it's like to be in those shoes of being stuck in a job and wanting to get out of it, okay? And that's what I've done, okay? So here I am now, it's December, it's been 6 months now. Almost 6 months, 5 months, but getting close to 6 months. This is the 6th month. And it's been a freaking journey, okay? The business I'm in is a business-to-business sales. I sell some tech software, which I've never heard of before particularly. I'm not familiar with it. I've never dealt with big business owners and all that. So that's what I do, and cold calling and whatever, and it's a completely new experience for me, okay? And my hours are very limited. They are very limited. I'm building all this. Actually, where I'm recording this video, luckily the company that I'm with, the business that I'm in, they've got conference room or whatever, and I'm actually in their conference room right now recording this because they let me stay here afterwards and on the weekend. So that's my story, okay? Now, I'm going to take you through the 10 lessons that I learned the hard way through this story, okay? And I will actually summarize it here. But let me tell you. So first of all, lesson number 1. You don't need a lot of money to get started. Okay, you don't. If you're paying thousands of dollars to get started, you're being cheated. You're being scammed, you're being lied to, you're being marketed to, you're still a consumer. It's actually wrong. It's not to say that there is no high ticket needed or there's no expenses needed. Yes, it is. It is necessary. Paying for conferences is needed. You need to do that. Not when you're getting started. When you're getting started, start small and scale up. And that's exactly what I'm here to teach you. Number 2, never rely on one source of anything. Now, what do I say by anything? I'm not talking about income stream. I'm talking about don't rely on an income stream. Don't rely on just a job. Don't rely on just one person. Don't rely on one website designer. Don't rely on one source of traffic, Like, don't just work on Instagram and not have YouTube going at the same time, okay? You gotta have more. Don't rely on one customer. If you have a business and you only have one customer but he's premium and pays you a lot, you are in danger because if that customer is gone, you're screwed, okay? So never rely on one of anything. Number 3, anyone can have an internet business, but it can't be cookie cutter. This is a big one. Anybody has a story. Anybody can take this story and actually make money from it. It is so unbelievably simple, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you in this course, okay? It is unbelievably easy, okay? But it's not easy. It's hard. Doing the work, persisting with it, carrying on, showing up, not giving up, Trying again, failing, getting up, doing it again, that's the tough part. The technology of how to do it is actually extremely simple and extremely easy, okay? It just is, okay? But the actual doing, that's where it's tough, because you get up one day and you're like, I don't want to work on this. Or you finish your day job and you're like, I just want to go to sleep. Whatever it is, I just want to watch a movie, I just want to relax. That's the tough part. Showing up, that's what's hard, okay? But anybody could do it with the right strategy, okay? The right strategy, that's what I offer in my coaching. An exact personalized strategy to what you need to do to succeed. Number 4, the business opportunity industry is in need of change. Now, I'm saying that very politically correct. I've got other ways to say it. It's corrupt, it's dishonest, it's deceiving, it's scamish, okay? It's money hungry, okay? There's a certain amount of people that are doing well and they're making a freaking killing over the ignorance of others. That's just reality, okay? Why would 97% of people not succeed online, not make $1 online, whereas 3% make a lot of money or make some money? You know why? Because they do. That's just the way it is, okay? Newbies are set up to fail. I really believe newbies are pretty much set up to fail, because if you don't educate a newbie like yourself on how the online world works, you'll just get scammed. You'll get lied to, you'll get cheated, you'll get marketed to. It's not even that it's malice. That's not the point. But if you do cookie cutter marketing, the whole purpose of the funnel and the marketing is to get you to be a customer and pay a lot of money. It's not about helping you succeed. It's about getting as much money as possible out of you, you see? And that's where you're set up to fail. Number 5, those who persist win. You want to get in this game and make money and have the lifestyle of your dream? You gotta have a backbone. Don't give up. I've seen too many people give up too early. And when I say too early, giving up after a year, too early. 2 years, too early. 3 years, too early. You go to school for 12 years. You go to university for 4 years. Okay? What makes you think that an internet business is going to make you more money than your day job, and you are putting in less than 4 years, where you went to uni for 4 years to get the job that you now have? That just makes no sense, okay? Now, it actually doesn't have to take 4 years, but it does take as long as it takes. And those that persist win. Number 6, leverage and working together win. You will be shocked at how, I would say, the world is built on secret societies almost, okay? Or societies or communities. You support each other, you can win. You can't do it alone, okay? I did well because I was part of a great company at that time. It was great at that time. I had great students, I had good colleagues and so on. There was issues with the business model. The business model was off, okay? That's, in my opinion, why it went down, okay? And that was a fundamental flaw in the business, okay? Which I didn't recognize until it was gone, and I really had to look at it. And that's, it had a flaw in the way the business model was structured. And it was really making some people a lot of money, and a lot of people not making the money, in fact losing the money, okay? In my humble opinion, I was very caring and very careful and very good with my students, and I believe that if you talk to any one of my students, I did a really good job with them, okay? Because I actually do care. I'm still in touch with a lot of them, and I never gave them advice which I, number one, wouldn't do myself, or that I thought would be bad for them, or purely for my own monetary benefit, okay? It was very much an honest coaching, okay? I can say that. You can talk to all my old students and see for yourself. Me saying it is useless, but you get the idea. The point is, you gotta leverage, you gotta work together. You can't do everything yourself. You actually need to outsource. You need to use other people's products. You need to use other people's marketing. You need to learn from other people's mistakes. You gotta join forces with friends, family, colleagues, people you meet, like-minded people. You have to have joint ventures. Consider me a business partner if you're gonna do my course. That's what I am. Sure, I'm coaching you. Sure, I'm a mentor. You can look at all those things. Look at me as a friend. Look at me as a joint venture, as a business partner. And that's how I look at you. I look at you as a client, a customer, a student, a business partner, a friend. Because if I don't, I will screw myself over. I have to look at it that way. You need to do the same. Number 7, you don't start with high tickets. You don't start with big investments. You don't start with that. You don't start with selling big money. You start with subscription. You start small. You scale up. You build your foundation. You build recurring revenue. Okay? Marketing is great and it can be used or abused. I think I kind of covered that already. Number 9, and this is a very beautiful story, okay? The one thing that remains constant is relationships and people. When the company went down, sure, the websites were down, you know, there was no domain, there was no business, people were upset, training was gone, all that was gone, mystery, people, whatever. But you know what? That gung-ho group, that esprit de corps, whatever term you want to have for it, you know, that group, X factor, that community, that wasn't gone. There was new Facebook groups, there was WhatsApp groups, there was Skype groups formed, there was Zoom chats every week. You know, the coaches band together, other members of the company band together. There was a lot of support. You know, there was also some people who really went sour. You know what I mean? There was really some bad eggs. Okay, there was. You know, it was a bit of a fallout in some respects, but it was a lot of beautiful community. Like I would say, majority of it was so beautiful to watch. Because here's this disaster. A lot of people lost their income and their investments and so on. And it was beautiful to watch the community. Okay? So you're in the people business. You're in the relationship business. Okay? If you don't build relationships, you don't build friendships with people, you will fail. Companies come and go. Businesses come and go. Social media changes. Software changes. Opportunities changes. People don't change. Relationships don't change. Your most important asset is your relationships with people, your list, your customers, your friends, your co-workers, your community. That's your number one. Care for them, they will care for you in good times and in bad times. Okay? Number 10. Sad but true, not everyone are willing to do whatever it takes. You gotta find people that are willing to do whatever it takes. If you're not willing to do whatever it takes, you gotta sort your stuff out. And you gotta figure out a way to also not waste your time on people who are not willing to do whatever it takes. This is something that really upsets me almost, because honestly, I prefer to give all my stuff away for free. I really would prefer to do that, but I just know. I did it as an experiment. I gave away a lot of stuff for free. Coaching for free, this for free, the majority don't do anything with it. They don't respect your time. They don't respect the opportunity. It's just not a freebie. That's why I insist on charging people for my coaching. I prefer not to. I make it very affordable, okay? I don't do high tickets on my coaching when I first get started. For the exact reason that I'm telling you, you don't need a lot of money, so I'm not charging a lot of money. I'm very, very affordable, actually. Go check out other coaches, my God, okay? But it's just a way to filter those that are really not serious. It's just the way it is, okay? Now, what did I learn from this? How I would summarize it? Your goal in having an internet business, in you know, going on an entrepreneurial journey is one thing. Your goal, and everybody thinks that, your goal is to make money. Everybody go and think, I'm going to go make money. That's my goal. Wrong goal. Your goal is to buy back your time. You're only making money so you can buy back your time. When you bought back your time, you can really go big. But until you buy your time back, you've got nothing. Okay? And that's why I had 6 figures and lost it all. That's why other people go into the business and never succeed. Is because they're chasing money. Wrong goal. Your goal is to chase back your time. That's the resource. That's what you're getting into business for. You want to buy your time back. What are you going to do with your time when you buy it back? You might spend it with your family. You might spend it with your friends. You might build a bigger business. You might build wealth. You might volunteer for charity. You might just go on a cruise and live on a beach and drink pina colada. Don't care what you do. But your goal is to buy time. You do it by building passive income having systems working for you or investments, creating recurring revenue, and having repeat customers. Okay, that's how you do it. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do in my course. That's really the model that I'm building my business on. Okay, it's based on everything that I've learned the hard way. It's based around personalizing your story and turning that story into your biggest asset, turning your passion into an amazing story that you can help others do well, inspire them, empower them, whatever it is you want to do with that story, okay? Or your skills, or whatever it is, okay? So there you go. I hope you enjoy this, okay? This has been exactly 1 hour. I've certainly enjoyed sharing this story. I don't think I've actually done a video where I actually tell the whole story from beginning to end like that. I might have missed some things here and there, but thanks for paying attention, thanks for listening, and looking forward to working with you and seeing you in the next chapter. See you soon. Bye.